These people are just idiots. I really, I'm at the point where it's become really hard to have an intellectual debate with any of these people, because the level of stupidity that they are displaying every single day is frankly embarrassing, not just in Congress, but as Americans. And the fact that these people are allowed to say just the most ridiculous things tells you that the dumbing of the United States has arrived, because how else do we get a Trump presidency again? These
absolutely ridiculous. She's completely insane.
Today I introduced a censure resolution against Ilhan Omar. And the reason why I did that, and I'll just say this, censure is not going far enough. If it were up to me, we would expel Ilhan Omar and deport her out of the United States. Her comments are outrageous. She's acting as a foreign agent within our very government. She said the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. They will do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders, and that is how we will safeguard the interest of Somalia. She also said,
if she keeps saying things like this, she is going to get deported.
Ilhan Omar needs to be deported. Are you not sick and tired of the fringe left vouching for her and making excuses for her obvious indiscretions? She's training illegal immigrants to learn how to evade capture by ICE. She is affiliated with CARE, which was founded by people who support Hamas. She has equated the United States and Israel to terrorists. She wants to see Israel destroyed. She has said extremely anti-Semitic things about Jews, and she even refused to condemn the people who committed the 9/11 terror attacks. She wants to abolish ICE. The list goes on and on and on and on. She does not have Americans' best interests in mind. In fact, the evidence shows that she may have the interests of foreign nations closer in mind. She has done nothing to help Americans are maintaining peace. That's why a Texas representative has circulated a petition to deport her. And honestly, is she right? If you're a congressman member, America should be your first interest, not Somalia, not illegal immigrants. She has no place in our Congress, according to many. And does she really have a place in our country? Should Ilhan Omar be deported? I cannot wait to read your comments. I'm Armstrong Williams.
Honestly, if you're a member of the Congress, you should have the interests of the American in mind at all times.
censuring Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota. Whereas elected members of Congress take an oath to bear true faith and allegiance to the United States without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. Whereas Representative Ilhan Omar took an oath of allegiance to the United States upon becoming a citizen, declaring, "I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen." Whereas on January 27, 2024, Representative Omar gave remarks at an event in Minneapolis in which she made treasonous statements. Whereas Representative Omar said she has spoken to many Somalians who asked her to intercede for the Somali government by pressuring the United States government into certain actions. Whereas Representative Omar assured the Somalians she spoke to, the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. They will do what we want and nothing else.
Absolutely ridiculous. I believe Ilhan Omar has the interest of Somalia in mind and not the interest of the United States.
What would you say to her? I'm talking about Representative Ilhan Omar, who came here from Somalia by way of Sudan. She came to the freest, most liberated country where she can actually have equal opportunity and strive to achieve her dreams. But instead of loving it and thanking the country for accepting her with open arms, she just seems to want to attack it. This is what she had to say. By the way, if you like what I lay down, make sure you're following.
That presidency.
Allowed to say these things. Again, she comes from an authoritarian country where she couldn't say and do anything. In fact, women are treated like second-class citizens there. But here you have equal opportunity, and you certainly have the right to say these things. What are your thoughts about this? How does Minnesota keep on electing somebody who clearly doesn't like the country? And make sure you leave a comment and make sure you share it. Come on. What would you...
Yeah, I agree that she has no place to be in the American Congress.
Astonishing comments from a congresswoman, Ilhan Omar, speaking in Somali at a Minneapolis hotel. She boasted about how the US will do what we want to push Somalia's interests. She also said, as Somalis, one day we will go after our missing territories. And she said she was Somali first, Muslim second. She didn't mention being American or caring about American interests. Josh, she's proclaiming here that she has an allegiance to a foreign nation. Surely these comments are not only deeply disturbing, but grounds for expulsion.
Yeah, I agree. She should be exported. She should be deported.
So when Jasmine Crockett, Ayanna Pressley, Ilhan Omar, probably even AOC, because she got a loud mouth too, when they joined in this lawmakers club, I'm sure those lawmakers were terrified that these women would blow up their spot. So they put them on game. They put them on to what they were doing, how they were laundering the money, how they were funneling our tax dollars into these offshore accounts. Why? Not because they cared about these women at all. It was to safeguard their own interests. There's no way that these women could ever blow the whistle on them, tell on them, if they are even more guilty. That's how in 2 years, with a $174,000 salary, you go from having a net worth of $40,000 to having a net worth of $9 million and owning multiple million-dollar homes. They are committing illegal activity. And when the ish hits the fan, those women are going to be the first ones.
Probably, I believe many members of Congress are doing some things that are illegal, and probably Ilhan Omar as well.
Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of anti-Semitic remarks when you have a member of the Republican caucus who has talked about Jewish space lasers and an entire amount of tropes, and also elevated her to some of the highest committee assignments in this body. This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology when my life was threatened.
I just love watching AOC completely melting down over this issue. This is absolutely wild. And let's look at what Ilhan Omar said in the past that are absolutely ridiculous.
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. I would say
absolutely insane. These are some very racist comments, if you ask me.
It is really, really a sad day in America. We are witnessing a constitutional crisis. We talked about Trump wanting to be a dictator on day one, and here we are. This is what the beginning of dictatorship looks like. When you gut the Constitution and you install yourself as the sole power, that is how dictators are made. What Trump and Elon and all of their cronies are trying to do is take away the constitutional power of Congress. We get to decide. We have the power of the purse.
Not at all. Honestly, Americans elect a president, and the president and his staff have all the executive power that they need to apply what they were elected for, and not the Congress. Of course, the Congress has a say in everything that president should do, but you don't have the power, and the president is not undermining democracy as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, what we are witnessing is a constitutional crisis. We are seeing an executive branch that has decided that they are no longer going to abide by the Constitution in honoring Congress's role in the creation of the agencies, in their role in deciding where money is allocated. And so the only recourse we have, since our congressional leadership, the Speaker, will not stop the executive is through the judiciary. And this is, when you think about the checks and balances that we have, the courts are the only recourse we have at the moment. And we have seen, and when we talk about the illegality of what the executive is doing, we have seen every single executive order that has been challenged in the courts was found to be illegal.
Absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe one word of she's saying right there. And I think Marjorie Taylor Greene is right about this.
They must follow our orders, and that is how we will safeguard the interest of Somalia. Whereas Representative Omar continued, for as long as I am in U.S. Congress, Somalia will never be in danger. Its waters will not be stolen by Ethiopia or others. Sleep in comfort knowing I am here to protect the interest of Somalia from inside the U.S. system. Whereas George Washington warned in his farewell address of 1796 to guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism, and further declared citizens by birth or choice of a common country, that country has a right to concentrate your affections. The name of American, which belongs to you in your national capacity, must always exalt the just pride of patriotism more than any appellation derived from local discriminations. Whereas these statements by Representative Omar clearly violate the oath she took as an elected member of Congress to defend and protect the United States Constitution. Whereas Representative Omar has exhibited the treasonous tendencies George Washington warned about, and her actions must be condemned by all members of Congress who adhere to the oath they took upon assuming office.
I agree. 100% right. I believe Ilhan Omar is doing terrible things right now. Do you think she's right to call every American an idiot? Do you think she's right to defend the interests of Somalia before the interests of the American people? I don't think so. I believe she should simply be removed from Congress right there, right now. Hopefully Minnesota gets a grip and elect better representatives than Ilhan Omar in the future. Let me know what you think about this. I hope you enjoyed this video with me today. Thanks for watching as always, and click right there to watch the next video, and I will see you there. Bye bye.